Hello YouTube, this is One Leg Prepper. I'm here to talk to you about thunderstorms. Thunderstorms, tornadoes, and floods. And they usually come in that order. But anyway, we're talking about obvious emergency situations here. But please understand, in an emergency, the government is not there to help you. They're there to maintain a level of governance. Don't expect help from nonprofits either. You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and be your own help. Have a communication plan. If the cell phone is not working, you better have another way to communicate with your families, whether it be a walkie-talkie or have a communication plans. Note on the door of the house, dear kid prepper, we cannot be at the house. Daddy will be at such and such place with such and such person at such and such dress. And always you want to have good maps of the area so that you can figure out where the damage is and all that. And I want to thank our friends at Refuge Medical. Again, if you use promo code 1 as in the number leg prep, you'll get 10% off your order. And as always, that is One Leg Prep. So first thing I want to talk about, I know these all lead into each other, but the first thing I want to talk about is thunderstorms. And we just had one the other day. And I'm kind of glad I reviewed what a thunderstorm is and how you should prepare for one, because we kind of take them for granted. But thunderstorms, they're broken down into watch and warnings. And watches where conditions are possible for a thunderstorm. It's bright and sunny outside, and there may or may not be one. You see the cumulonimbus clouds are about 15 kilometers tall. And you see the dark storm front coming in. But it may not hit you. A warning is a thunderstorm have been spotted and you should take shelter. And what I mean by take shelter, do not stand under a tree, and do not ever stand under anything metal. Get inside the house, and if you can, get into the basement. So when I worked in Green Bay, one of our co-workers was actually I think he was in the bathroom, going to the bathroom, and lightning bolt hit a tree outside and then came into the house in the window which he was sitting next to as he was doing his business. And he had a constant ringing in his ear for as long as I knew him. So again, a warning as a thunderstorm has been spotted. If you have to leave, make sure your car has enough gas to get you to safety. If you're out on the lake, get off the lake. Protect yourself from flying and broken glass. So you're going to want your curtains and drapes drawn in the house, just in case something breaks your window. Unplug electrical items, and do not shower, don't do dishes, and stay away from the windows. Shower and dishes have you immersed in water, and the human body is one of the best conductors of electricity out there. If you're on the water, you need to get to shore now. If you're outside, find a low ground ditch. Stay away from water. Anything metal and anything trees. We've always discussed that. Best thing to do is to get home and get indoors, or get into a store and get indoors. After the storm, wait 30 minutes before you go outside for the storm to clear, because there could be still more thunderstorm activity. And from my understanding, thunder goes from the ground up. So it would definitely go through you. Now we get into the fun stuff. What happens when the thunderstorm starts swirling on you? Then you have a tornado. Thunderstorms don't have to become tornadic, but most of the time when a tornado happens, they come from a thunderstorm. Alright. Watch is where conditions are right for tornadoes, but there's none forming. Tornado warning are when tornadoes have been spotted on the ground and you need to seek shelter fast. I remember there was one time, it wasn't a tornado, but we had straight line winds, and we had a few cats around the house, and we had one that was difficult, and I had to go upstairs and grab the cat. As I'm in my second story of my house, I all of a sudden hear the sound of a freight train, and I knew that that was bad. And the only word that came out of my mouth was Jesus. So I grab the cat, I run down from the second story to the first floor, from the first floor to the basement. And by the time I hit the basement, the storm was over. Whatever happened would happen. The next day we were having a church function at our house. This was back when I worked in the ministry. And while all the neighbors were sawing down 100-year-old trees and stuff like that, and sidewalks were all ripped up and people were cutting big timbers of lumber, I went in my backyard and there was one little branch with about 3 leaves on it. And I picked that out of the backyard, and it's like, honey, we're ready for the party. And like I said, everybody around town was cutting up trees. Well, anyway, if you're in a car, you want to make sure it has enough gas. Find the safest place in the home, which is usually a basement, a closet, a hallway, or under a stairwell. I actually have a room, I call it the black room. It is built under my stairwell. And my son and I were down there once, and this was the second tornado, and I think about 4 weeks warning that we had, and the tornado actually hit about 30 miles from where we were about 2 hours ago. So we were where the tornado hit, and then we came home because I didn't like how the weather was looking. And we're sitting under the stairwell, and JJ's like, well, what happens if the house collapses on us? So I'm like, I'm looking across the way. I'm looking in between probably about 2 weeks of water for each of us. That's 4 gallons times probably about 14. And I'm looking at about 6 months of food. And I'm looking around for a bucket and for some bags, just in case we had to poop. Because we had a drain if we absolutely had to pee. And I'm thinking of Jay. I said to JJ, I think we're going to be okay. I think we have this. Well, anyway, if you're in a mobile home, get out. It's not safe. Trust me on that. I've seen somebody take apart a mobile home. It's the most dangerous spot you could be in. You want to stay away from down power lines after the fact. And wherever you do, don't use matches just in case there's a possibility of an explosion or a fire. And then you want to stay out of any homes that are damaged until you have the hole clear to go in. Stay calm and keep your family together. And the items you should have in the same place are food and water, pillow and blanket, flashlight and batteries, radio with batteries, and a cell phone charger. If you're in a car, you want to find a low-lying ditch and make sure that you are very, very low to the ground. You can't outrun a tornado. And I give a lot of credit to the people who do storm chasing. That is not my thing, because I don't want to end up getting splattered on something. That's not cool. Anyway, when you have a lot of rain, it always leads into flooding. So I want to talk about what to do for a flood. A flood watch, our conditions are right for a flash flood. And a flood warning means that the water is on its way. Make sure your car has enough gas and have an evacuation plan to get out of town. I live in a city where there's an east side and a west side. I live on the west side, but a lot of water runs through the east side. So if there's a flood, you probably don't want to go out of town north, east, or south. You're going to want to probably head out of town on west and make plans and have an escape route. You should at least have 3 escape routes out of town. Make sure your car has enough gas. If you have to evacuate, have an evacuation plan. We talked about that. Don't touch anything electrical. Turn off the power to your house. Unplug electronics. Bring in pets and service animals. Get to higher ground. Don't walk in water or get swept away. Don't drive in water. Don't drive around roadblocks that are blocking water. Roads can be weakened from floods. Stay out of homes surrounded by water. Go home when instructed. Look for home damage. Have ways to purify water. Bleach and a eyedropper. Purification tabs. Fire in a pot to boil water in. If you're in a car, 6 inches of water will flood your car. 1 foot will make your car float. And 2 feet will sweep your car away. Never, ever, ever drive into standing water. YouTube, surviving these weather storms is basically common sense. And you need to be thinking about how to get out of conditions like this. Well, as always, YouTube, this is a one-legged prepper saying if you found this video useful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, share this with somebody you care about. Let them know that you care about them, and say, hey, you know what? I know we've all lived through this. But, excuse me. We've all lived through this, but we should really be refreshing our skills every day. Well, as always, YouTube, this is one-legged prepper saying God bless. And as this one-legged prepper saying, I am out of here. Bye.